There are fun runs, there are serious runs, there are hard runs going on all over the country. Lots of people are out on their bikes. Lots of people are doing charity events. Lots of people are going to use the summer to stay fit or to get fit. So to help you along the way, we've been joined in studio once again by the personal trainer and fitness expert, Carl Henry, who's going to give us a few tips. And we're going to start, I suppose, at baby steps, people who are getting going, Carl, today. So first of all, if you want to ask any questions, any specific questions, could be about nutrition or it could be about injury or whatever. If you want to ask any questions, chip in here on 53106 for your text or twitter.com@breakfastnt for your tweets. So Carl, first of all, some people it might be just to start running, it might be to do a 5k, it might be to do a 10k, but how do you make this one the one instead of another false start and then those new trainers are in the cupboard?
And they go to the back of the cupboard and they gather dust and all of a sudden they come back out in January. Never good. Well, the first key thing is to find a race, find an event. Get onto RunIreland.com. There's loads of events on around the country and even around the world, obviously too. Find an event first and register for it. That's the first key thing. Then you got to go get a training plan. Something that gives you structure that you can print off, put on your fridge or in your diary at your desk and just tick the boxes as you get your runs done. That keeps it controlled. It stops you from overtraining. And it'll ensure that you train kind of safely and properly and build up to your 10k, for example. If you haven't done 10k before, it takes time. It takes hard work. You can't just go straight in. Well, some people can, but you can't just go straight in and do it.
Do a 5k maybe first. Yeah,
5k is generally the best one to do. A Couch to 5k plan. There's apps for it. Even on my own website, carlhenry.ie, there's free training plans there. Print it off. It's generally 6, 8 or 10 weeks, and bit by bit you just train for it. You start slowly with walks and then jogs and just build it up, more jogging and less walking as you get fitter. And the other key thing, once you cross the line, you get the endorphins of finishing the race. Guess what? You sign up for another one.
Yeah.
And use races as your goals and your stepping points all the way through. That'll keep you running all year round.
There is something about the high of finishing a race. You sign up for 10 and then you realise you have to train for all of these.
And years ago when I was in college, I started doing 10k runs, and then you finish that and you look for the next buzz. So you do a half marathon and then the next buzz, which is, it just builds and builds and builds. Running's in vogue. It's free. It's easy. Get some good runners. Get some gait analysis done. We talked about that the last time we were here.
Yep.
And get some gear and a good rain jacket because it's wet out there today. So good rain jacket.
But does it not wreck your knees? I mean, as you get older, you will find this. I can tell you with all the wisdom of a 54-year-old that I know a lot of people who did a lot of running, both on treadmills and on concrete footpaths, and they end up with bad knees.
Yeah, I think if you overdo it, you eat too much of it, certainly can have a negative effect on the joints. Like myself, I would take 2-3 months of the year off where I'll cycle a little bit more, I'll surf, I'll do more kind of stretching resistance work, I'll change it up a little bit, and I find that eases or evens out the injury risks and the injury effects. The key thing as you get older is you need weight-bearing exercise. Running is a form of that. Walking and fast walking is a form of that as well. As is again, we talked about that last day, the resistance work, the weights, doing your squats and your lunges and all that kind of stuff. And that'll keep your joints in check as well. Your diet's obviously important too. Lots of oily fish in the diet, or even something like Udo's oil as a supplement will be perfect in terms of getting the 3, 6 and 9s.
Now, Carl, lots of people don't actually have to sign up for anything because they've already signed up for something big that's coming in 2 weeks' time, which is the women's mini marathon. Yeah. So people might have been out walking. You see people out once the March comes in, out training in groups of 2. I presume that's for marathons or for walks. And some people will want to run it. So at what stage should they be at now? What should they be thinking about 2 weeks out?
Yeah, well, 2 weeks out, you really want to be able to run, like if you're looking for a distance and a benchmark, certainly 7 or 8 kilometres. If you can run that, then the chances are in 2 weeks' time, with the buzz of the day, it's the biggest women's only running event in Europe. It's an incredible day. We've loads of our own clients doing it, and the buzz of the day will take you the extra 2 kilometres. If you're at 3 or 4 kilometres now, possibly trying to run the whole thing is not going to be for you, and I'll be very straight and very honest about that, because you won't enjoy the day. That's the first key thing. The second key thing is on the day itself, make sure you're starting in the right place. If you're a walker, do not go to the front. Some people do, and all you're causing is a traffic jam, and it gets very dangerous for everyone else that's doing it. So the faster runners go towards the front, the walkers go towards the back, and the joggers kind of go in between. At this stage, really, you've got 1 more week of kind of hard training, I would say, and then you're kind of tapering down towards your 10k, where your training gets that little bit easier. And then the night before the race itself, for the day before the race, no alcohol, lots of water. If it's going to be very warm, which generally for the mini marathon it is.
Yeah, they can get scorchers, can't they?
Yeah, get really, really hot. So get some extra salt into your diet the day before, and a really good kind of a brown pasta based meal the night before will be perfect for some carbohydrates and your standard breakfast on the day. If you like running with something in, you get some porridge or something like that. Don't go on an empty stomach unless you're used to it. So,
Carl, we talked about the training plan. If people, they've probably been training away now for the women's mini marathon, but if they do want to hit a 5 or a 10k, the training plan, and you mentioned sticking it on the fridge, and then something happens, there's a stinker of a week in work, or one of the children is sick, or an up all night or something, and that one run miss starts to snowball into 2, 3, 4, and then there's something stuck over the training plan. So you are going to slip. Everyone's going to slip, and everyone's going to prefer to drive rather than cycle or something on a given day. How do you come back from that slip?
Yeah, well, first, nobody's perfect, and in terms of training plans, especially, something happens. Something will always happen. One week you won't get your run done, and you'll miss out, and it does snowball. The key thing is the one run you have to do and try not to miss is that long run. That's the really important one. If you're having a bad week, you're sick, or you have a slight niggle in terms of an injury, something like that, just draw a line in the sand. Don't dwell on it. It happens. Things happen to people. You just move on. And just the thing is to get back into it straight away. Monday's a great day for that, obviously. Start of the week. It's a new week. And that's the one to pencil in the run and start that whole week on a positive vibe. If you're really struggling, text a friend. So listen, I need help. I need some help. Do you want to come for a run? Let's get going on this again, and just get straight back into it. Start ticking the boxes and take each run as it comes, and you'll get through it. You'll get back on track, and you stay focused.
Some of the quickfire questions that have come in. First of all, similar vein to Ivan's, but this comes from O'Brien on Twitter, who's starting out. So somebody in their 40s or 50s starting out to run. Any extra precautions they should take?
Well, first thing, in terms of running and distances, people as they get in their 40s and 50s are actually better at running distances than people who are younger. That's the first thing. Start slowly. Park run might be perfect. They're free runs in parks around Dublin, and they're spreading all around the country, and they're on every Saturday. They're 5k runs. Start slow, start easy, have a training plan. I can't emphasize the planning perspective. Get online or get a Couch to 5k app and just follow it. Whatever the app tells you to do, you do it, no more, no less. Because people obviously want to overtrain. They have the gear and the runners and they want to run marathons in the space of a week. Do whatever the app says, follow the training plan and have fun. Enjoy it.
You mentioned gait analysis a couple of times. A couple of people are saying, can you advise the best place to get that? Yeah,
there's loads of places all around the country. Amphibian King are fantastic. They have a couple of places in Dublin. Elvery's, I know, do it nationwide as well. We would send our clients to both of those. It's very simple. They put you on a treadmill. They ask you to walk or run. Then analyse how you're walking or running, and whether you're supinating or pronating, they'll put you into a certain pair of runners that they would recommend. They're not always the most expensive, which is the good news, but they're what you need. They'll keep your back safe, your ankles, your knees, your hips, all your joints will be in really good condition, and you'll know if you need them. If you take your shoes or your runners and you flip them over and look at the back of the runner, it should be evenly worn all across the runner or the shoe. If it's overly worn on the back of the shoe or the front of the shoe on one side, get some gait analysis done and that'll sort that out.
Okay. Hi Carl, how much cardio is too much cardio per day? I do 1 hour per day of cardio on the bike and cross trainer, but I've heard that this may be in fact burning muscle instead of fat. Am I doing more harm than good? Is an hour's cardio too much? I don't think so, is it?
Not really. It depends. First of all, you have to make sure you're getting a rest day in there somewhere. So training 7 days a week is no good. You're going to burn the body out. You kick into kind of burning some form of muscle. You certainly will. Does cardio burn muscle? No, not necessarily. It depends how hard you're working. You have to be slightly out of breath. That's the key thing. If you're on the cross trainer or the bike, you've got to get out of breath to get the benefits. If you're not getting that, you might as well just sit at home and watch the TV. Make sure you're getting at least 1 to 2 rest days a week, and make sure you're changing your program every time you get on the cross trainer, every time you get on the bike. Do something different. Our bodies react to change. If you don't change, you don't get the results.
Question about cardio. Hi Carl, is our spinning classes good for losing weight? Hell on earth, spinning classes.
There's a topical question. Is it good for losing weight? As part of an overall balanced diet and training regime, yes, it is. It's a seriously tough workout. You'll work really hard. It's great for the legs. It'll help you to lose weight as part of an overall
And you'll
plan.
sleep that night as well.
You certainly will, that's for sure. I think you should do it, do some resistance work, do some cardio and do a spin. Don't just do spinning or don't just do one. Try and mix it all together.
This seems like a quite simplistic question, but it is actually spot on for people who are starting off. How do you get your breathing right when you're starting off? So getting that rhythm in your own head and then with your lungs.
Yeah, well the first thing is when you're starting to going to a run from a walk, your body's relaxed and all of a sudden you're running. So your heart has to catch up and your breathing has to catch up, and often you get very panicky And that's the big barrier to people when they start to run. All you do is you focus on your breathing, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, taking about 5 seconds to breathe in through your nose and 5 seconds to breathe out. And just relax the body, focus on the breathing, and all of a sudden within 2 minutes or 3 minutes your breathing will settle and you'll be able to run, and the breathing will really come down. You feel very comfortable and it'll take the panicky feeling away. So simple enough.
It's a very specific question from a Jenny here. Hi, question for Carl. I'm 9 weeks pregnant and an average walker. Is it safe to do a 0 to 5k plan?
Personally, I would say no. I'd be guided by your GP or your consultant on that. My own opinion, I would say fast walking is equally as beneficial as opposed to doing a couch to 5k now. Swimming is fantastic and your resistance work is really good. We've a client who only had a baby about 3 weeks ago, Trina, I'll give her a mention, and she trained right up till 2 weeks before the pregnancy doing resistance. Now, all very adapted, all very safe, but it's really important in terms of your overall health, in terms of your pregnancy, and in terms of how you bounce back post-pregnancy as well.
What about that text from Billy in Tip? He's like me. Ivan, he didn't put Chris on it, but Ivan, I really enjoy what I call the freer exercise regime. Freer involves vigorous walking to the fridge and heavy lifting of cans, sometimes over several hours. It works for me, says Billy in Tip.
Well, if your fridge is about a mile out the garden, that might work.
I believe in mixing it up and... You know, you say to keep mixing up.
Yeah.
I go for cans of cider, cans of Guinness. I don't stick to the one can the whole time. And
But
if there's no cans left, I'll go for wine.
You're bravado here because you do swim to keep fit.
Yeah,
I do, but that's my back. I have to swim. I swim 84 lengths very slowly in one go. It takes me an hour and 20 minutes in a Sandyman pool of 25 metres. But I actually find I'm starving after I have a swim, that I don't think it helps your weight situation. But I'm going to stick to this freer exercise program.
Carl, give us your website if people want to find out more.
Yeah, it's carlhenry.ie, or I'm at carlhenrypt on Twitter. I'm new to the whole Twitter experience. There's loads of content on the website, obviously, there, and there's books and everything in all the local bookstores too.
Good stuff, Carl. Real pleasure to speak to you. And that podcast of all of this will be online, newstalk.ie/breakfast. We were speaking about breathing as well with Carl during this. And earlier in the programme, in the paper review, we were speaking about breathing in the context of snoring. And Ivan's wife is a teacher, and he thought that she would safely be in school at about 10 to 9. So he described her snoring as a rhino. There's a text there for you to read out, Ivan.
Yeah, it's from a parent, Karina and Docky. We were late to school. My 8-year-old is now beating a path to tell Mrs. Yates that Ivan says she snores like a rhino. You better bring flowers home tonight. Not those dandelions again.